What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of AOS Trash Panda. I'm your host, Rob, and with me again, as usual, is my co-host, Carson. How's it going, Carson?
It's good. I'm back from the dead. Yay!
Yay!
I caught a mummified cough in Las Vegas, and then just add water in Vancouver, and boom, you got a cough. Yay! It's great.
I mean, I'm glad to hear you're back from the dead. I think what happened was, and we'll talk about it, but those amazing new Soulblight models might have sucked you into the underworld, and your proximity to them was just too much. They were too cool to handle. And then
that's definitely what happened.
Okay.
100%. Okay. Yeah.
We used science to figure that out.
I've got barrel guard in my lungs, is what it is. Yeah. I just got knocked out of my sleep, and Matt Rose himself surgically put an entire unit of barrel guard into my lungs and sealed me back up. I don't feel very good, but I suppose I just got a cough, and then I like cough out a spear. Yeah.
Did he put any of like the extra by the way, if we are, let us know how the sound is going, because a bunch of stuff changed with Streamlabs, which is why we were a couple minutes. Oh, big reverb. Okay. Of course there is. Thank you for telling me, though. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I don't hear the reverb on. I've been listening to the stream as well.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. If anyone else hears reverb, please let us know.
Oh, it sounds good to Pat.
Pat says it sounds good. So we'll proceed, and if more people think that there's a reverb problem, then we can try to address it. Then
yeah, please let us know. Crank up the volume. Hurt your ears for our benefit. We'd appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Sorry. So, okay. Let's talk about the rumor engine first, because that is by far the least interesting thing we have. Let's just get it over with, Carson.
Yep. Man reads book.
Reads. Yeah, that book is small though. It's like a diary or something. Hey,
that's true.
Like, that's not a big book. I don't know.
It's pretty small. Like, my gut instinct is Cities of Sigmar of some kind, just because it looks like a human hand, and
that's true.
Looks like a relatively normal book. So, or maybe like an elf something,
right? Of
some kind. But yeah, probably Cities of Sigmar makes sense to me.
Cities does look right. It could also be like some kind of like 40K thing, because they're big on that type of stuff. I do agree with you though. It does, like, if I had to guess, I would say the same thing.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Cities of Sigmar, Tom B said, yo, just got done with the game. Cities versus Slaves to Darkness. My first question, can you use all-out defense when your opponent uses covering fire? Yes, you can. You used to not be able to, but they FAQ'd it such that you can. And there's a designer's note that explicitly calls that out as well. So, the more you know.
Yep.
I think this is pretty cut and dry. This is Cities. Or some sort of human holding a book.
Some sort of human holding a book. I like that. Cool. Okay. And then I guess we'll move on. So we did do a preview show, and we do preview shows. Now, Carson wasn't here for that. He was down there for that. And so, but I just thought it would be cool to talk about these insanely awesome models. Like, we were going like, okay, probably Black Knights, and they are essentially like the new version of them, right? And everyone, including myself, was going, please, new Graveguard. Like, that's all I really want. And that's all I thought we would get. Because at the end of Age of Sigmar 2, we got this huge revamp of a bunch of stuff. And we're getting new Black Knights. We're getting a new White King, even though that other one's brand new. We're getting, new Graveguard and a box set. And they said on the stream, we're also getting terrain pieces. We're getting endless spells. And then on top of that, Okay, sorry. I do see that there is some chats coming my way. I will go back to them in a second, okay?
Let the man cream his khakis. Okay.
Yeah. Again, for like the 30th time. Like all this stuff is super cool, right? The White Lord dual kit with a White King. I don't really know the difference, but I'm here for it, right? These insanely awesome new Barrow Guard, which they're now called instead of Grave Guard. All that is cool. All this is amazing. But I would like to put forth that the new Prince Vordry model has now become the best model they've ever made from an objective point of view. So I have said, and so my favorite model hasn't changed. My favorite model is still Visic, but I recognize my biases. I think that model like just slaps. I think it holds up in any way, shape, or form. But like Skaven aren't for everyone. Just like Nurgle isn't for everyone. Slaanesh isn't for everyone. Fire Slayers isn't for everyone. Like even the stuff that's crazy popular, like Nighthaunt and Sylvaneth, not even that's not for everyone. So like I take a step back. When they showed Be'lakor came up at the same time as Kroak. And I said, I like Kroak more, but I think objectively speaking, Be'lakor is the best model they've ever made. And I've said that. So I'm just laying down the foundation of my track record of objectivity. I put forth that this is the new best thing they've ever made. It's kind of a shame that it's not also 40K. It doesn't also apply to 40K, just because Be'lakor was good that way. But like, I just like this model is perfect. It's insane. My only gripe I have with it is what I didn't notice during the stream was that it's on a 160 millimeter base, and that's too
is it
big.
even bigger now?
Yeah, he's on 130 right now, 130 round, and apparently he's on 160. So this model is freaking gigantic. like if that's 160, then the Vordry model is also freaking huge. Right?
Yeah.
And that spear is stupidly big. But
I was just going to say,
yeah.
I think GW is like trying to get people to stop flying with their models. Because there's no way that you could put that thing in any kind of case without it just being like taking up the entire case, right? Like I think you'd have to make sure that Vordry is like taken off the saddle. And I really hope that you can build it such that that's possible.
Yep. And even then, with that like background like banner thing that's attached to his seat, it's still going to be freaking huge. So yes,
Carson's so great right that I had to zoom out and zoom back in just to readjust.
It's also like that, that shot that they do in movies. You know, yeah.
Sigmar Scotty says, "Tell us about the dudes of Sigmar crop top, Carson. I hear it's all the rage, meeting Roma's love and approval." I think I didn't see that. So if you have context, please show us in the Discord. Speaking of which, join the Discord if you're interested. We've got a Discord down in the chat. Make sure to like and subscribe. Anyway, I agree. This model it's fantastic. I don't know how this dragon flies, but I think it's an amazing model.
Yeah.
Like
you mean, and when you say flies, you mean like 2 places for tournaments and stuff.
That, and it has so many holes in its wings.
That's true. that is like, true.
It's like I get that the sculptors are like flexing their detail muscles.
Yep.
And they're coming up with like more and more complex sculpts, but that dragon is like barely hanging on to life. Well, it's not. It's dead, but
it's super dead, actually. Yeah, the lore behind it too is super cool. It's like some kind of like crazy Dragoneth that like Krondys and them. And it was like trying to like raise dragons from the dead using necromancy. And Krondys was like, F that, and like went to war or something. And now he's dead and he wants revenge. But I will like to point out, though, about your last point, Carson, is that like it wouldn't be able to actually fly. Like I saw like this analysis a long time ago for like an animal the size of a dragon, for it to be able to fly, like how wings. It's basically impossible anyway. So we'll put it down under magic, right?
That's fair. Yeah, I'll accept magic, 100%. Yeah, Keith's right. It's magic.
Oh, did he say that too?
He said, sorry,
that's true. Yeah,
turtles can fly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a giant dragon sea turtle can fly with no wings.
I haven't said anything about the turtle. I was just like, no, that makes total sense to me.
It's the ether sea, guys. It's actually swimming in a sea of magic. Like, that's what the ether sea is. I want to actually go into the details, but I do know my deep lore. I actually could, yeah. I'm that guy, like, I love Doug and 2+ Tough, but like on like Skaven and like IDK and like a couple of things, I know so much that like I see every time he makes a mistake, I'm like, that's not true. That's technically, actually, if you look at it and you read about it, that the hypotenuse goes through. Anyway, that's my problem. But I actually do love Doug, and I listen to Doug all the time because anyway, I did say I was going to make sure thanks to everyone for joining us, by the way. We love having you here. And as Carson said, join the Discord if you are interested. People are posting awesome paint jobs and stuff all the time. And it's free. Link is in the description.
It's actually free for you. You specifically, if you're listening to this, it's free for you.
Yeah.
But it is a premium Discord. So
what about him, though?
Yeah, it's free for him. It's free for him. Yeah.
Even him, apparently. Yeah.
Moving right along.
By the way, okay. So Age of Canuck did refresh, and he just was letting us know. Thank you for letting us know, though, because like we've gone through whole episodes and no one told us before, and then someone like listens later on that we know in real life, and they're like, "Yeah, you were echoing through that whole thing, by the way." We're just like, "Oh God." Anyway, so then let's talk about the nice things before Rob rants in my stead. That's what he means to say. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm always down for a good rant. I love listening to rants more than I like doing rants. But like, even if I don't disagree, like even if I don't really agree, like, do you remember that amazing rant that Mike did from Buffalo, Batter Bison? I meant to say. Remember he came on? Yeah. He did this insanely awesome rant. I'm fine with Gotrek. I even love the character. Like I read all his novels, but man, there's something about a good rant. You can tell it in my eyes, my beady little eyes, how much I was enjoying that. But yeah, Litificus, let us know, or let me know what you're referring to there. How's it going, Big Ron? Judges in the house. Updated AOS kits for the stuff that is going to the old world. Yes, gotta separate them sales figures. I wanted to actually point that out. So, I think the question is, though, on everyone's mind is FEC, like, are currently, whoa, he just kept going too. That was wild. Yeah. So FEC, like, we currently have the kits for FEC and, God dang it, Soulblight Gravelords. They're one kit that works for both armies. I guess they're going to be separating them out, but they said the giant dragon you can use in any death army, including Nighthaunt, which is really freaking cool if you play Nighthaunt, because like they don't have really any monsters and stuff, right? So
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
But like, I'm assuming this kit will be, because okay, so we did get. Is this the right thing? Oh no, this is the insanely awesome, like. This model slaps. I was saying a few weeks ago, I want them to give us the dragon that's on the front cover of the battle tome. And then someone was saying, like, I hate to break it to you, like, that's just the current dragon. But, like, it's not. I don't think it is, because, like, there's a bunch of flesh on the face. Like, it's not meant to be. Now, I'm not saying they've had this kit for, like, what is it? 3 or 4 years now. Like that seems unlikely as well. But I mean, everyone, when that book it came out in second edition, at the end of second edition, everyone's like, are we getting that dragon? Like everyone was freaking out. And it was all anyone was talking about for a long time. So what my actual thought is that they like heard and saw and took in all that chatter and love for that amazing piece of art. And then we're like, yeah, let's give it to them. They want it, they'll buy it. And they were right. I will buy that thing day freaking one. This is okay, so I'll stop. But, oh yeah, and this is the other dragon, the alternate build. And then this is the vampire on Hellsteed or whatever it's called. Originally I liked the hair more, but now I'm thinking Baldy all the way. Like when I stare at it, I'm thinking Baldy, and I like the axe more. Yeah. I don't know. The hair
Baldos unite.
Baldos unite. And then here's the new start collecting, and it's going to have this White King model in there. And yeah, I'm trying to track down the Sons of Velmorn or whatever. They were like that Underworld's warband. And so if anyone doesn't need theirs, because like I don't think they're even legal right now in Underworlds, I just want Velmorn to use as a White King. So if anyone has it. Anyway, what I was trying to find was this. This is actually the thing that we can talk about. It's the roadmap, right? So we've got Orc War Clans. They came out on the 18th. Gloomspite Gits are coming out 2 weeks from this Saturday.
Yeah.
Whatever date that is. And then Soulblight Gravelords are up next, it looks like, after that. So I'm assuming they're going to be like, what, March? Late February? Early March?
Probably
right?
March, yeah, I would say. Just
That's
because,
what
yeah,
I'm
Gloomspite
thinking.
Gits are going to be out in 2 weeks, essentially.
Yeah.
March makes sense to me. I think probably
Right?
mid-March-ish.
Mid-March. So if it's 2 weeks from now, that's early to mid-February. So yeah, maybe like, mid-March. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that
Good
makes
month.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Path to Glory is already out, but they're showing it down there for some reason. I think it was already out when like they did this whole roadmap. So whatever. And then up next we have Idnith Deepkin and Night Haunt. What do you think? Like, what do you think that's going to be like for timeline?
I don't know. Oh, timeline wise?
Yeah. Like April?
Yeah. I could see both of these books being out by June, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
But the next showcase apparently is Adepticon, and Adepticon is like March 26th. So if it's coming out in April, though, then it's like, when are they going to show this? Are they going to show it and it's going to be like come out for pre-order the next week?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would assume that we're probably going to be seeing Soulblight in March. Then we'll probably see, assuming this is in order, we'll probably see IDK in,
Right.
if we're just doing one a month, then probably in April, and then in May or June, it's probably going to be Night Haunt, I would say. So, like, probably they would show a little bit of both, or maybe just IDK,
Right.
I guess.
So then
The
maybe
only
it'll
thing
be
is
like
that-
late April or something like that.
Yeah, or later May. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, late April for the first one. I hope that whatever one they show at Adepticon, or I hope that it's Idneth, because I think that is probably more deserving of like more models being added to the army than Night Haunt is, just because of like how limited it is right now.
Yeah.
So, but they're kind of like, are they going to run out of steam? Like they kind of been like knocking it out of the park this year so far.
It's crazy.
With the new Gloomspite Git stuff, with the Soulblight stuff, like, and all the Skaven that we just got and Stormcast too, like it's pretty nuts how
It's
much stuff there's
crazy.
been.
It's so good. Like, in terms of models, this is the best time to be in Age of Sigmar ever, by a country mile. I mean, I know they update things and that's always true, but like you said, during AOS 2 and 3, it was like if you got a book, 90% of the time you just got like one hero model, right? Like Idnith Deepkin, as an example, came out in AOS 1, the end of AOS 1. And then we've had oh no, they never got an AOS 2 book. But that kind of even speaks to it even more in a way. So we got one book for Idnith, and then we got one model, the Thrallmaster, and that's all they've had since then, right? Or what's another army like? Daughter is like
Even KO. KO.
Yeah,
is pretty
KO.
limited too.
Oh my
But
god,
we
yeah.
see that, like, we haven't even talked about the On Horizon stuff. One of them is clearly KO.
One of them is KO, one of them is Korn, and one of them is definitely FEC. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the front covers. They just took one little piece of the front covers. Like, I don't think they were trying to obfuscate it. I think but it makes it more fun though. Like, I think this is perfect, right?
Yeah, when it's easy to figure out, but not like so if you don't know the cover of that book right away, you engage for a little bit, sorry, and you what's it called? Like ask your friends, and it just drums up hype, which is fun.
Yeah, exactly. Beefy during the stream, he was like Corn, KO, and I was like, and that's FEC. But I actually I didn't get it nearly as fast as he did. He was just like Corn, KO, and I was like, well, I only knew FEC there. So yeah, I definitely felt like that. Okay, once again, I've missed a bunch of chat. Top for Age of Canucks is Marathi, Harbinger of Decay. Which one's the Harbinger? Oh, that's the new Nurgle model. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own biases. Like for Carson, I actually think Be'lakor, objectively speaking, is that strong. But if you take Be'lakor out of it, what's your favorite model? What do you think is the best looking model they've ever made?
I don't know. It's a really tough question. There's a lot of really amazing models that have been released pretty recently. Yeah. I really like a lot of the cities models, to be honest.
Cool.
Like Talia is a really awesome model.
She's amazing.
I really wish they would redo Marshall and Griffin or something like that, or a tank, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd be all over that, 100%.
I think they will. I think it's just a matter of them moving those models to the old world and then coming up with a super AOS steam tank.
Yeah, exactly. I think objectively though, I would probably say Usharan is my favorite model.
That model freaking slaps. It's nice.
Something about the cloak on the ground and the ruffling of it, I'm like, that looks real. It looks so good. It's incredible.
I couldn't agree more. I think for me, it's Vizek in terms of models that are out right now. And then I think it might be Usharan as well. It's crazy how good that model is. And then maybe Croak. I don't know. Anyway, I got distracted, but yeah. I never asked you that question, so I thought you were going to say Stonehorn. You know what I mean?
The ogre models are kind of dumb, to be honest. They're I love them. And I love the aesthetic of ogres, but they're clearly quite aged.
Yeah. They're some of them are more than others, but yeah, it's fair. But the Stonehorn and those models, they're not that old, right? They're
Stonehorn's pretty good. I think the Stonehorn, the Iron Blaster, even the Mournfang look pretty good.
Yeah.
Foot ogres though are a little dippy.
Oh yeah. But and they'll almost certainly get a major resculpt, even more, I would imagine, than Soulblight, etc. are getting, right?
Yeah. If Gorgers are anything to go off of, and the Maw Pit as well, it's gonna be good.
God. Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. Okay. So Ludivicus says, rant about Rend Zero Heavy Wolf Cav. I'm sure there's got to be buffs coming, but as written, rant worthy. I mean, I got caught out though, Ludivicus. I did do a mini rant about those Gloomspite Gits. It seemed like they were heavily nerfed. And I kept saying we don't know anything about every time. But I was like, yeah, it's Gits seemed like they were going to really struggle, and then they were awesome at the start of fourth rather. So I don't know.
They're still not bad. They're not an A-tier army by any means, but I think they're still not bad.
No. And I mean, I think they were getting rid of some of the, bad experiences from just trying to go up against trolls and that kind of thing. But they really need to find balance with that army. I think that army is really hard to balance. I think one of the main issues that they haven't been doing though is spiders have remained the same since their release in second edition, almost wholesale. So it's go back to the drawing board, guys. You know what I mean? You can do it. If you want to keep the mortal wounds, sure, that's fun. But figure it out. You need to figure something out. Because no one's taking the Terrorgeist. I think they're still remembering how OP Mortal Wounds were back in first edition or something like that. And when, the Terrorgeist came out in second edition, everyone was like, oh my God, and they're losing their minds. 3 attacks hitting on 4s and 6s do 6 mortal wounds. But no one's taken Terrorgeist properly in a while, so it's fine. Like you can make spiders. And like the other problem is too is that giant base, and they can only move over terrain as if they could fly. They can't move over models and stuff like that. So spiders are kind of poopy, and they've been poopy for a while. So I'm really hoping that they, more than anything, they go back to the drawing board. But yeah. Oh, you want to fly with your models? Player, yes. Why? GW. Because F you, that's why. Yeah. Yeah. That checks out, Pat. Premium. I don't know. I'm not sure what that was talking about either. There was also another. Did you see that preview image of the guy's face? Like some kind of weird eyes.
No. Also, the premium thing was me talking about how the Discord was a premium Discord.
Oh, that's true. It is premium.
Yeah.
It's
it
like
is premium.
Yeah.
It's a gold premium Discord that you're invited to. You can join it if you want to.
Yeah.
If you're watching this.
I'm pretty sure Stark is already in there, but
yeah. So you can talk to Stark directly if you join this Discord.
I think I just got a notification that Stark just left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stark, you can join the Discord. It's premium.
Well done. Well played. Yeah. Okay. Yo. Okay. IDK Crab Cavalry is the answer, and a Kraken. Scotty, Keith, you're both right. These are the answers. I've been calling for a Kraken since their release in first edition, and I'm not exaggerating. Okay? True story. I bought Ignith Deepkin models sight unseen. There was a preview, like leak, for Daughters of Cain in first edition and of IDK in their book. And I just said, I know that they're underwater. Like, they're an underwater army. I want one of everything. I'm not joking. That's a true story. I went into our local store and I was like, one of everything, please, just to get me started, and then I'll update you. And yeah. Anyway, so I'm hoping that they get new models for sure. For KO, another kind of sky vessel. That's a good idea. Like, honestly, like, more like silhouettes and stuff is just a good idea. You know what I mean? More kinds of model, or like more like I don't think you need any more like infantry models, particularly for KO. But like if you're not going to do like a sky vessel, something like other balloon boys, and you know what I mean? Just like something like maybe gliders, or I don't know, like just something cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say some form of like cavalry equivalent, essentially.
Yeah,
like a bigger silhouette. Yeah, would be nice.
That would be good. Yeah, I was hoping that they were gonna show that preview image that they showed in the video of those like two eyes or whatever. You know, we made a bunch of guesses. You guys are welcome to check it. And then this got announced. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, right?
Which? Go ahead.
Sorry, the Skaven and the Skaven Warlord.
The event miniature.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I took yesterday off, and so today feels like Monday. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, usually they show new models on Monday. And then I just realized now, oh yeah, it was yesterday, and yesterday was Monday. This model is freaking incredible. It's pretty close to perfect. I prefer it when they don't curl the tails around and like attach them again to the miniature. That's what it looks like here. I like it when the tails are kind of sticking out. But overall, this model is unreal cool. I also think that the blade on his shoulder is probably up in the flag, but I can't tell. But regardless, obviously, I'm going to buy at least one. There's a lot of Skaven Warlord models, but I was surprised that we didn't get like another one on foot. But I'm very pleasantly surprised. I love the claw, you know, the hooked claw. I know this model's amazing. So yeah. Apropos of nothing, I definitely have a favor to ask you.
I'll be going to the U.S. Open Tacoma, and they'll definitely have that there. So
cool, excellent, thank you. Oh yeah. Anyway, and then I've got two of the same thing open. And so we did get some, I guess we'll talk about, before we go into LVO and whatnot, should we talk about some of these gets rules that we got?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So we don't have a lot of information, and I think it's very early to kind of, panic on either side of things. So there is this, there's a named character called Drogs de Sunchampa, and he's a Gitmob leader riding into battle with Da Frazzlefangs on his back, a corona of radiant sun metal that blinds nearby foes, subtracting 1 from hit rolls and preventing the use of all-out attack. That's insane. That is insane. Like at first I kind of misread it. Like there was like some comments in our local group and stuff like that. And I was like, I thought this was like a sub-faction at first. And I was like, that's the most powerful sub-faction in the game. Like right now. You know what I mean? Like -1 to hit is like, it's super strong in this edition because so many things hit on 4s. Like most of like the really good stuff hits on 4s. And so most models don't have the ability to add +1 to hit, right? So then they're now hitting on, like, all the good stuff is now hitting on, most of the good stuff is hitting on 5s now. Like some Bloodthirsters are hitting on 4s, but hitting on 5s is crazy poopy, And we don't know anything else. This is a named character. I guess he's on a chariot. We don't know anything else about him. So like, I'm not saying it's OP. I'm not saying it's underpowered. What I'm saying is we don't know, but it seems like a cool rule. But we kind of said the same thing about Vizek. We said the same thing about Scourgers before that came out, and now no one's taking either. So no one needs to panic.
Context is key. Points are key as well.
Points are so important.
What's nice about this is that a lot of rules that they have that are like debuff or buff pieces have been combat range so far. So like with Vizek, it's like -1 to hit and wound. You must target him, have to be in combat with him specifically. This model specifically, what's really nice is that he can sit behind your line or like
that's what's quite nice.
A ways. Yeah. What is nice because like I think that it's important to have more utility pieces that can actually survive, that you don't have to dangle in front of your entire army, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because it makes sense from a thematic perspective that the leader's not going to be just like standing in front of everyone and be like, come punch me,
Bring it on. Yeah.
I've got this big debuff, and then you just missed him and then kill everything after that. It's nice that he can sit like back and kind of like cover a big ring around him of -1 to hit and then and no all-out attack. That's actually like a very potent defensive debuff. So that's really good. That ability in a vacuum is very good.
Yep, I agree. It's cool and it's thematic and it should be awesome. They kind of Clawlords kind of suck, but with the sub commander ability, and they're only 80 points, and you could take them in like a bunch of stuff as a sub character, they do have utility. Like basically what I do, and actually Matthias was saying the same thing, I think, is like I usually add a Clawlord to every list at the very beginning, and then if I have the points, because you need to have the sub commander, and then if I have the points, I change it out for a better character, a Bombardier or whatever. Matthias has actually been taking a Deathmaster, and which I think is really strong. Like, and I didn't kind of clue into why exactly, but now I think it's awesome. But yeah, I'm usually taking like a Bombardier or something even better if I can. But yeah, sorry, I got. Oh, he's the big wolf guy. Cool. That's the named character version, I guess, of the big wolf guy. Right?
I think so.
I think it said he's riding on his dog or something like that, on his wolf. So, let's see.
Yeah, I think it's the one that's kind of like the wolf is kind of like perched real thin.
But like,
because you can see the ring on his back too. Yeah.
I don't see. All I see is the big picture.
Yeah, in the big picture in the very center, you can see the like wolf character.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you're right. Wait,
Yeah.
is that... Oh, he's on the round base. There was something in front of him, like maybe some kind of like terrain or...
Broken chariot terrain, something like
Yeah,
that, which is cool. But
which is super awesome. But I was like, yeah, anyway. Sick. Very cool. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I hope that they're good. I hope they're usable because these models absolutely slap. So, yeah, here's hoping. But yeah, and then scrolling down, there is the new Snarl Pack Cavalry, which have, I guess it's, yeah, I agree that like, basically like more than rules, Leviticus, I think the issue with this is that is thematically a giant freaking wolf should have at least one rend, right? Like that's my main thing. It's like storm vermin have -1 rend, 2 if you charge into them. Sure, that makes sense because there's these giant halberds or whatever. But like so many things in the game have rend, and a gigantic freaking wolf should definitely have at least 1 rend. So I don't disagree. And maybe like there's a sub faction where it's like, you know, this sub faction gives all the wolves +1 rend or something. I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't disagree. But the nice thing, the cool thing though too, is that they have this rule here: the frazzle burned scrap, that these smug grots swipe from post battle loot piles and forge their weapons from, can disorientate enemies with a dazzling flash after soaking up enough light, granting first strike. So pointy skewers and snarlfang jaws can make their mark without fear of reprisal. So if this unit charged this turn, it has the strike first for the rest of the turn. So like, and you might be able to fight twice. You know, they are damaged too. I don't know. I'm not saying like they shouldn't have rend. I absolutely am saying the opposite of that. But yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see, you know?
Yeah.
We'll
have to see. In a vacuum, I agree. It's weird that these don't have rend on them. But who knows? Maybe they'll be dirt cheap. Maybe they'll have access to crit mortal or something like that, or
right. I mean, we're definitely not seeing the whole war scroll. Like this has been, what do you call it? Like edited together in like a collage, because we're not seeing their movement, we're not seeing their health, we're not seeing like their keywords or anything. And so like it might even have it makes sense because they've got those pointy skewers. So it says charge. Actually, it does say charge +1 damage. I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. But I was gonna say it's probably like +1 rend on the charge, like a lot of stuff was before and is now, but maybe not. Anyway, and then you do have the Sunstela Wheelers, which is an amazing name. They are on point. Careening Destruction. This unit can move distance up to its move characteristic. It can pass through enemy models and the combat ranges of enemy units, but it cannot end that move in combat. Then pick up to 1 enemy infantry unit that has this unit passed across during that move to be the target. Inflict D3 mortal damage on the target. Add 1 to the amount of damage inflicted for each model in this unit. So that obviously means that they can reinforce these units, which is cool, you know?
It's not only that, I think they come in... It's unclear whether they start as a unit of 2 and can be expanded to a unit of 4, or start as a unit of 1 or couldn't go to 2.
Right.
We know that it has to be a pair of some kind because it says it's in a pair, which is... It's interesting because, like, this unit... It has the only other time I think we've seen a move ability that like overrides core move is for like Purple Sun and the Gravetide, where they can just walk out of combat, do their thing, and then come and charge back in. And what's cool about that is that this unit, if there's like 2 of them in there, on average it like picks up a chosen or something like that, which is really nice if you just like pass across one and just do that. Or actually, minimum it picks up a chosen if you have 2 of them in the unit. And then it could pick up like a variant, it's infantry only, so not variant guard. But what's nice is that because you're not retreating, if you look on the very back there, one of the goblins has a bow, so they've got shooting attacks, which means they effectively have retreat and shoot and retreat and charge without taking any mortal wounds, having to retreat to do so.
Right, because it's just moving.
Yeah.
Neat.
So
that's a good point.
Neat. Yeah. And It is once per turn army wide, but you probably only have one of these if it's like a unit of a bunch of chariots at once anyway. So
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, like they're gonna make excellent objective grabbers. I can freaking guarantee that. And so you probably want them in minimum squads on anyway, unless you have some kind of, plan for them, I guess. But I'm, because their furniture and or chariots are made out of wicker, I'm hoping that they're moving like at least 12 inches. Like I think they should be. Whether or not that will happen is another thing. I don't think there's a non-character vision, kind of like Talia. I hope you're wrong, but that wouldn't entirely surprise me. Like, we need some kind of wolf riding goblin, right? That would be such a huge loss, like, opportunity, to be honest. But, yeah. They do that a lot. I have a great cannon for that. Wait, what did I miss? Okay. No idea how to get one if you're not near an event, says Warpstone Enjoyer. Yeah, man. Like, that's been a problem for a while. I know that a lot of people go to events and then put them up on eBay, but they tend to charge a little too much. But, I mean, get in the community. There's a Facebook group of people that specifically like go to events, and then you can like buy them off of people, and they're like part of the mission statement of the group is that you can't gouge. Essentially, it's against the rules. So join the Discord if you're not in there already. I think I'm still a member. I can't remember. I did a bit of a purge at one point of the amount of groups I was in, but yeah, let me know. But yeah, no, they look really cool. I don't know. Goblins are like, they're so popular and their aesthetic is so, awesome that I feel like they are an army that's going to be like, it's always going to be popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm very curious to see if this new Gits book is going to turn them into like a more of a toolbox army. I really hope so. Just because we've seen that they've changed how the Bad Moon works.
Yep. I've got it right here.
Okay, nice. Well, I mean, I guess we can look at that, but I think that you're going to see like 4 main archetypes, I think, where it's just like you have the main like Moon Clan goblins, like shooters and stabbas. It's like they're your front line. They're just sitting there picking objectives, being a massive bodies. You've got your Trogs, which are supposed to be tanky. You get your Squigs, which is kind of supposed to be like your output, like glass cannon. And then you've got this new Git mob, which is like seeming like it's going to be a lot of movement shenanigans.
Right.
And I think that having little pieces in your army that do all of those things is what really makes... That's kind of what the best part of the end of 3rd edition was, I think. Whereas you had a lot of people with toolbox armies. And it's really cool to see that this could be the first part, like the first army that does that in 4th. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I think like Skaven are a decent toolbox army.
Yep.
I think that's actually one of their strengths, but it always has been. Like, it's not like they're changing that. It's not like they were like this super simple army before. So yeah, I totally agree though. I hope that the sub-factions encourage you to take a mixture of things. That's something that I think that they genuinely need to work on a bit in 4th edition. And what's funny too is that like we were saying that at the end of 3rd edition, like if sub-factions are going away, and like we had that whole discussion, and it's like, well, hopefully they just do general ones from now on. You know what I mean? Because like people are going to want to naturally skew into things regardless, because like things become good, meta happens, they rise and fall and things change. But so like you don't really need to encourage people to take, like super hyper focused lists. Like, for example, in Skaven, like all the different sub factions. And what sucks is that Skaven they were one of the few armies that didn't suffer from this in 3rd, and then they were like, well, that can't happen, so we got to make them suffer. Sins of the past. And then they made all the sub factions like super specific. It's like if you're not taking all Molder, then you feel like you're not getting much out of it, and you feel like you're not getting, if you don't focus on stuff, then you're not getting the most you could out of it. So I'm hoping that they go the other way. It would be really great. So, even though I know Skaven's screwed for 4th edition, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because like if they do that and then like everyone I'm sure will react well as long as they think about balance somewhat. And then like then hopefully for 5th edition we'll have it properly figured out. Anyway, sorry. So the Faces of the Bad Moon declare you must use this ability at the start of the battle round. If multiple players are commanding a Gloomspite Gitz army, then instead, by the way, this is once per battle round. Oh.
Yeah. It's the same as the Bad Moon.
Oh, weird. So the battle round. Okay. Okay. If multiple players are commanding, if this is the first battle round, pick the starting face of the Bad Moon, Grinnin, Scowlin, Sulkin, or Cacklin. If it is not the first battle round, the face of the I see, right. That moves to the next phase in the sequence. Okay. So this is more like the old Nurgle Cycle of Decay wheel.
Except it's not 7. It's just 4. Thank you.
Yeah. That was too much. That was way too much. I think anyway. Okay, so then Grinnin, so good old-fashioned Moonclan Grots are turned into frothing zealots who will vociferously defend their latest conquest when the moon is Cacklin or Grinnin. While the Git mob's sneaky Snarlfangs can retreat with alacrity and still charge or shoot while it is Sulkin or Cacklin. That's quite a mouthful.
Yeah.
I'm not good at reading things out loud and also like
and
comprehending them. Yeah.
Basically, the long and the short of it is that each type of Git, so like Trogs, Squigs, Git mob, them has like 2 moon faces that they're happy about having, and then the other 2 moon faces are like, I don't care. And because there's like 4 main types of Gits, it's basically just like shifting them. So like 2 of them will be happy at any given time, and then they'll kind of like shift around like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's neat. And as we can see further down, like there's ways that you can kind of control that. Like first of all, you pick what it is at the beginning of the battle, so you can be like, okay, I don't think anything's going to happen turn 1, so I'm just going to put it on like a useless one turn 1, and then 2 and 3 are going to be my happy turns, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they have an unlimited spell, or you already said, you already alluded to that. Passive. I see. Here we go. Frothing Zealots. While the Bad Moon is Cacklin or Grinnin, add 5 to the control scores of friendly non-Squig Moonclan units. So Cacklin or Grinnin. Oh, Cacklin. Oh, I see. So they're actually in a row here. Oh, I thought they were on opposite ends for some reason. You know what I mean? Yeah, that is better, and it's easier to kind of manipulate around what you want. Yeah, that's cool. I see. So that's Sulkin or Cacklin. And then Grinnin or Scowlin is subtract 1 from the Ren characteristic of combat attacks at target friendly Troggoth units. I know this is a downgrade because it used to be add 1 to their saves. And so this doesn't help you against like 0 rend attacks. But
it's pretty rare though. Unless you're facing Wolf Cavalry.
Oh God, I'm sorry, Lyndon, because he's such an asshole. I mean, but like, I think this is less of a feels bad when you know what I mean? Like, I think this is probably better rules writing as a whole, as much as like we are going to suffer as Gloomspite Gitz players in the face of that. It's I don't know. It's a downgrade because it's a downgrade because it works in combat too.
Oh, it's only combat attacks. Yeah. So shooting it doesn't apply for.
Oh my. Is that true?
Yep.
Oh, so combat attacks. Ugh, brother. Ugh. Yeah, that's I don't think that's, yeah, okay. Oh, man, I was praising them, and now I'm finding it a little more difficult. I feel like it would have been fine. Oh, man. Yeah,
I
that's
also think
not
that
as good.
they're not showing us one of them, because if you look back up at the
Right.
wheel,
Yeah.
there's 4, and the Squigs one is missing.
And so's the spiders, right?
True. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what's interesting though too is it's going to be like Cacklin, or what was it again? Cacklin or Grinnin, right? Is good for non-Squig Moon Clan, right? And then so they all have 2, like you said, but like they could it could be like Sulkin and Cacklin, because like the other 2 are on the other side of the moon wheel, but you could maybe be mixing the 2 to get the spiders and mixing the 2 to get whatever Squigs or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of an interesting way that they might be able to manipulate it and make it a little more interesting. It does seem a little more convoluted though. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if you are running a mixed list, it does feel like they're sort of going to discourage you, because it's like, okay, let's say you have like Trogs are Cacklin and Grinnin, right? So if I just run Trogs, right? And then what I'll be trying to do is I'll be trying to like constantly use my spell to move it back to Cacklin, so that way they're just buffed all game. Does that make sense? So whereas like you won't be able to buff your whole army this way if you have a mixed list. So again, we're kind of going back to encouraging, I don't know, we'll have to see the sub factions and stuff, but
yeah, there's a lot we don't know, but
we don't know anything. We know like less than 5%, So yeah. They don't show spiders or squigs, right? The non-squig Moon Clan and spiders are together. The non-squig Moon Clan and spiders are together. What do you mean they're together? Oh, it says it right on there. Duh. Right. Non-squig Moon Clan and Spider Fang. So they are buffed by that. Okay. And then squig is there. I see. So they do show. That's kind of cool, because Spider Fang and Moon Clan are like, they're actually not that much of the book, really. You know what I mean? Like they're a sort of equal amount, I think. But okay. And then as we said earlier, so there's a spell. It is unlimited. You can see right here. Casting value of 6. Roll a dice, or you got to get the spell off, and then you roll a dice, and on a 1 or a 2, nothing happens. 3 through 5, the face of the bad moon moves on to the next face, and then on a 6, pick a new face of the bad moon. So actually, that's could be kind of scary too.
I wish it wasn't a 1 or a 2.
It should be a 1.
No, it shouldn't be anything.
You're right. Yeah,
I'm kind of tired of it being like, do a condition, possibly fail. Like it
is unlimited. It is unlimited though, to be fair.
I know, but a 3-up is not that likely to, like, it's quite likely that you roll it on like 2 tries, but still.
That's true. Yeah. It's
pretty. To only have a 66% chance to get like kind of what you want,
right?
Despite already getting a successful spell off, is kind of silly. That's what I don't like about that.
I agree. But like if it was on a 1 and it was unlimited, like on a 1 it does nothing and it's unlimited, then it's like, okay, 1 in 36.
Definitely better.
It's better. I agree with you. At the end of the day, I don't know, like certain armies, GW likes leaning into the slot machine, like Skaven and Gits and stuff like that. And I'm about to say something that I'll probably regret, but I think for Skaven, it makes more sense. You know what I mean? Like they lean into some things too heavily. Like the Doom Flayers are like 3 inches plus 2d6. I think it should be like 7 or 8 inches plus 1d6. You know what I mean? And that way your max is less, but you know what I mean? Because otherwise it's just like, you might be moving 5 inches. Like you might be moving the same as like, I don't know, something that's really slow, like Stormcast or something like that, right? And you're just like, okay, like these guys are supposed to be on like death motorcycles, just tearing up the ground. Like in Total War, like they're super fast. You know what I mean? Like they're one of the faster units in the game. Anyway, I'll stop. But yeah, no, I'm totally with you. And we did get this Malevolent Moon endless spell. Like honestly, this endless spell is freaking awesome. It's like when you're within 12 inches, you're affected by all four faces of the bad moon. Like that's amazing. You know, it is wholly within for sure, but like
still huge though.
Yeah, you just throw it up the back. I mean, like this is even better than the Bell of Doom for Skaven. It's just like this could I could see taking this lore just for this spell, and we don't even know what the other ones do.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of things are fundamentally different about this book, which is really interesting because
right.
All the books that we've had so far have been like pretty similar. Like Stormcast is basically the exact same, Skaven basically the exact same with a couple more units. Slaves to Darkness changed a little bit, like it was like a side grade. We talked about it.
It's the most interesting change until Gits, though, right?
Yeah. Or well, I mean, like orcs. There's still some like we got to see what the dust settles there. But
true
because they got like a new terrain piece and the spells and stuff like that. We haven't seen them go to any tournaments just because they came out like after LVO or during LVO.
That's true, but like Stormcast,
this is like truly
truly
unique and different.
Like like the nice thing about this is that like let's just say that it ends up being poopy, and like we really won't know until the dust truly settles. Like we haven't, like people are still raging about the the Orc War Clans book, but there's still a lot to be seen, and like they did really well at LVO, and like the statistics for the new year, they're doing quite well. Maybe that's like super skew like builds or something like that. I don't know, but putting all that aside, yeah, like at least it's something new and interesting though. Does that you know what I'm saying? Like that was like I thought the Skaven Index was really awesome, but like the lack of effort in making interesting rules. Like I mainly bought the book. I mainly bought the battle tome for like the lore and the pretty pictures because like, you know what I mean? Like the app is way faster for everything else, you know? Anyway, yeah. But yeah. Okay. Yep. Should we bye Mormid? There's a new boss in town. You're not wrong. Be interested to see what buffs are on your turn and your opponents. It's still a spell with a Gits gamble. Yeah, absolutely. I hope they give back, what's his name? The Scragrot, his at least a +1 to cast. Like he's supposed to be like a proper magic user. Yeah.
I'm really curious what they're going to do with him. And I'm also really curious what they're going to do with the Loon Shrine. Because the Loon Shrine previously was like, you're in the light of the bad moon if you're wholly within 12 of it.
Right.
Or currently is, sorry. But now there's no like weird distance checking that you have to do to be like, I'm in the light of the bad moon. It's just like, this is what applies to the whole table. And
that is nice too. Because like the quarters of the table, you're just like, ugh.
It was weird.
Yeah. And like, it's just not accurate to like measure that kind of stuff. Unless you're on one of those new mats that they have out there where it's just like, it's got all the you know, the lines that you need. But like Ricky Fisher's mats, for example.
That's
okay, should we move on to LVO? It's going to be a little bit. I'm announcing this way too late, but it's going to be a shorter show. Carson's still getting over the Nurgle rot, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I got something came back with me.
Yep.
From Vegas.
Matthias dared Carson. Yeah, that's true. It did not stay there. But next time, don't follow Matthias's advice of licking the sidewalk to make your immune system stronger.
Well, that's how you get free alcohol. So that's what I'm going to
do. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's true. In this economy, he's not wrong, folks. You just got to make it back here in time. Anyway, Carson was kind enough, and I'm assuming it wasn't just Carson taking these photos. Actually, I know some of them are not taken by you because you're in them. Yeah, so we're on to, so you're going to now tell us about your experiences on the strip and LVO, and you're not going to talk about the tournament. Is that what I'm?
Not going to talk about the tournament whatsoever.
Okay.
So you pull up the first picture.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Ooh.
New York, the Big Apple. You can see it right there.
Yeah. See the Empire State Building on the left there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Statue of Liberty is there too. They're right next to each other.
That's true. New York. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the things I like about Vegas is that when you land in Vegas, out the window, you see like all of the things that you imagine when you think of Vegas. They're just like right there. Whereas like every other city, it feels like their airport is like off to the side somewhere because they had to find like a flat area or whatever. Or at least that's how it is in Vegas.
Yeah. But honestly, most places in the world, like I can't think, of a.
Yeah, exactly. You have to drive a ways to like get downtown or whatever. But Vegas, it's like right there. So yeah, this was like flying there was amazing because my entire row just didn't have anyone in it except me. So I was like, sweet. And I basically got like business class for the price of economy.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super nice. And then if we go to the next picture, we visited the Luxor and myself, Patrick, who you see in the chat sometimes, and Eric, all got these Tesseract margaritas.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you like, I know this is a stupid question, but you get to keep those things, right?
Oh yeah, I still have it. It's 70 ounces of margarita in the thing. The problem though is that like, you think that you're like, oh, I'm going to get so drunk, but they fill it like 95% with just like sugar water and like lime and stuff like that.
Right.
And I did not feel good after having that.
Yeah. They get you nice and dehydrated and then you get drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
It is cool though. It'd make a good like water jug or something like that, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. And the next picture is some kind of cathedral ball.
Yeah, they got rid of the Vegas sphere and they put a giant stained glass orb in the center of town. So I don't know why they decided to do that. I thought the sphere was pretty cool, but that's that.
I did hear about that when they were doing it. And I don't remember the reason, but I did read like, I don't remember if I even thought it was a good reason or not, unfortunately.
No.
But
there's no good reason to do anything in Vegas.
The old one did look cooler. It is artistic though. Like I'll give them, it's artistic. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
And then we're at the tournament.
Yep.
And it's me and my son, Matthias.
You and your what do you call it?
My sick Victorian child. Matthias.
I was going to say ventriloquist act doll, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Don't pay attention to where my hand's going.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't see your left arm. None of it.
And you never will. Yeah, we got to the event hall. It was in like a super big room. I think this year there's 310 people almost in the tournament. It was a little less than last year, but still a huge amount of people. And I got like, I was going into the tournament and people were like, so what are you afraid of? Like, what are you worried about going against? Because we saw that the mission pack was like super dense, which is really good for my army. I was like, honestly, I'm just afraid of going into good players. And the very first day, like the first game that I played, like I almost lost. I played against a really good player from California, Brian Horton, who I hadn't heard of him before, but apparently he's like Tom Guan's friend. And yeah.
Oh, geez.
And then the second game that I played was Fred Schmidt, who a lot of people know. He's been on the channel. He was on the All-Stars show. He like helps with, Team America's like Minutemen program and stuff like that. Like very well known, very skilled player. And then the opponent that I had after that was Noah, who, which is like one of the best players in the world on Team America. I think he's won LVO before. Yeah, it seems like every super competitive event I'm at, he's there at top tables somewhere. And that's who ended up knocking me off. What's up?
So what you're saying is you've now created a new phobia in addition to not being able to be complimented, in addition to being talked to when you're rolling dice at a tournament, you now have a new phobia of people asking you about what you're afraid of going against.
If I answer that question, that is what will happen.
Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of monkey's paw were you holding when you answer these questions and interact this way? That's
I don't know.
Crazy.
But it's always crazy just like seeing the different runs that people get at LVO, because I got that day one, but then I see people who like they're at game 4, game 5, and then they come up to me and I was like, oh, how did it go? And then they're just like, yeah, I played someone who's like, this is like their second ever GT. And I'm like, you got all the way around round 4, round 5, and you're just like on this bunny run. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, like, so I was telling Pat, by the way, Pat says, I took that photo. Now I need therapy. I understand. That makes complete sense to me.
Yeah,
I was telling Pat,
actually.
Yeah. I was telling Pat the other day, it's possible. I was saying, and no offense to you, like Carson is one of the best players in the world for sure. Matthias, your love child, another one of the best players in the world. Like we're blessed. Fred, all these people you named, one of the best players in the world, right? But I said, like, and obviously I'm not as well versed in it as you are, but I was saying that, like, I think Matt Beasley, like if I were to take a guess, Matt Beasley might be the best player in the world. Like, I don't know that that's true. Like, it's a dice game, for God's sake. You know what I mean? But he is consistently insanely amazing. And he had a rough time at LVO. Like, I won't blow him up, but he had a rough ass time at LVO. And so, yeah.
Everyone has a rough event once in a while.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I have like a handful of people in my mind when I think of like who is the best player in the world. But the issue is that you can't quantify it quite as well. Like, there's ITC for sure. But one of the things about ITC is just like, if you go to more events, then you just have more of a likelihood of having a higher ITC ranking, right? Like, there are people to like name someone, Jared Brown out there, who I think all 5 of his ITC records are all wins, but he only has 5. So every tournament he's gone to, it's been a win, but he's like 10th place in the world, right?
Right.
Then you have people who like consistently go to like huge events and they kind of get like close to, if not at the top. And those are the people that tend to be at the top of ITC, like Tom Guad and Gavin Greiger and stuff like that. Just slamming in the repetitions.
Well, the other thing too is like, you don't know like what their meta is like either. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's tough.
Like,
and
there's
that
like
could just be
sorry.
It might not even be like a player skill type of meta. It might just be like, my favorite army is ogres, and if it turns out that ogres just happens to counter what is mostly represented in my local region, then I'm gonna have a great time for the time that ogres is really good, right?
Yep. And there is also like there is this player skill issue. Like, I've seen people post, in different groups and whatnot, and they're like, yeah, like I took all Molder, I took 2 Brood Terrors, you know what I mean? And they killed everything. And I'm like, they're objectively bad. You know what I mean? And they're talking about like how they're fine. Like, this is at their old points, by the way. This isn't even at their new, like 50 points cheaper kind of thing. So like, you don't know what's out there. Like, there's just not enough data. You know what I mean? But like, I'm just saying, like, what I was trying to get across was, I wasn't trying to make a statement. I was just trying to say, I think extremely highly of Matt Beasley. Like, he thinks about this game on such a level. It's so impressive to me. And he had a rough time. So I don't think, like, you were kind of saying, like, you didn't get the run that you were hoping for at LVO. And my statement was just to kind of reassure anyone and everyone that went to LVO and maybe didn't have the easiest time. If it can happen to Matt Beasley, it can virtually happen to anyone, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to clarify something. It's not that I don't want to play against good players. It's that I don't like playing what feels like a game 5 in game 2.
Nope.
Right?
Yep.
Where I'm just like, this is supposed to be the standoff. Like it's supposed to
Yep.
be and then it's kind of disappointing when you like, you meet that person like round 1 or 2 or just on the first day or something. And then you like barely lose or something like that. And then the next games that you have, you just like absolutely stomp the next people just because you've dropped down into another bracket. So it's just nice when it happens like right at the end, because it's like a climactic event, right? I still want to play those players, but it's it's just nice to have it be more thematic, I guess.
I totally agree, and like I'm sure everyone will yell at me. I'm not actually suggesting this, by the way, but we're going through the same thing right now. Get ready to fill out your bingo cards in the fighting game community with the Capcom events for Street Fighter, because like people are complaining that like if you don't seed tournaments, then like as a spectator sport, it's less interesting because a lot of like there's so many matches first of all that happen. Actually, it's kind of the same as Warhammer, because like they can't televise all the games, right? So they can't televise the important ones, right? And so like if like the two best players are meeting off stream, it's disappointing for everyone, and obviously this isn't the same kind of level of spectator sport as like Street Fighter or like Dota or something like that, but the point is still the same. And so I think that's like seeding wouldn't be a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like to a certain extent. And then like that way that when you're kind of going on, you know what I mean? Like people kind of get put where they maybe should be a little faster and easier to a certain extent. Obviously it has to be random to a certain amount, but I don't know. I mean, like if I were to go to a tournament, I would be with someone with 0 ITC points. So I would be put against, in this scenario that I'm talking about, I would likely be put against someone who is way better than me, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's a very nuanced and tough problem to solve.
It is.
That people have been talking about for ages. So I don't know if there's like a true solution to it.
I'm sure there isn't. Cause like people don't like I strongly dislike the, what's it called? The like parts of the Swiss system where you're pairing people, like the two best players. Because again, like if you're pairing the two best players in the tournament who scored the best against each other in round 2, then you're not getting like that climactic event that you want. So anyway, putting all that aside, tell us about your puppet, Matthias.
He's a very special boy.
He is. I love Matthias. We just played over the weekend.
Yeah, Matthias is a great guy. He's a very good player. Great guy. I think so. Both of us went 4-1. He lost his first game to Fred Schmidt, and then I got revenge for him on Fred Schmidt the next round. It had actually looked like I was going to lose that round too.
Sorry.
I kind of messed up on my deployment, and I was like, crap, I have to take the first turn to like fix this a little bit. And the first turn didn't go terribly swimmingly, and his went pretty well. And then I ended up winning the prior round to 2, and I gave it to him just because I dark mastered something, and I was just like, I have to scrape for the rest of the game, essentially. But I was able to like pin him in his deployment so well, and there was a couple like small mistakes that like I managed to like barely squeak it in the end. But like I remember there's another member of Team Canada, Michael Sabetti, who walked up at the table and he was just like, you better win this. I've got $100 bet that you're gonna win this game.
Are you serious?
Him and Noah had been like betting on different tables the entire event. And like he was
okay, first of all,
yeah.
Wait, was he actually joking?
Yeah, of course. Like it was like, yeah, it wasn't.
So they were just saying
they actually bet the money, but he wasn't like threatening me.
No,
like,
yeah, totally. Okay. So first of all, that is awesome. Like them just betting like actual money. But second of all, that's way too much money to bet on a dice game. Like those guys are true gamblers, man. Those guys are true addicts. That's insane. That reminds me of like Kevin on The Office, where they're betting on like random stuff to happen. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Man.
So he walks
animals.
up at the point where it's like looking really bad for me, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, man, I'll try. And he's just like, oh damn, and he kind of walks away like dejectedly. Yeah. And I managed to like barely scrape the game, and like after we kind of finished cleaning up and stuff like that, I see Sabetti, and I just kind of look over at him, and I'm just like, just wink. And he's like, really, you did it? I was like, hell yeah. And then I think he won like $350 from Noah over the course of the tournament or something. And
that's so much money.
And what he does, American too, US, that's like $17,000 Canadian.
Real money.
He takes all of that money and he goes and puts it on red. And wins. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then he keeps saying like, "Oh, I wussed out, and then I took my money after that point." I was like, "You should have taken your money a long time ago." Like,
what is he talking about? Okay, like putting it all on red is the most insane thing. Oh my god, what an animal!
Yeah,
that is insane. I don't have it in me. Like, I would. Yeah, I am like, if I win anything, like if I go down to Vegas and I win something. Like, let's say I set a daily limit of $100, and I win a bunch of money, then I have $100. You know what I mean? And then it just resets. Like, I can't do it, man. I grew up with too few dollars.
Yeah. It's like I both times I've been to Vegas, I'll like go to a craps table or roulette or something, and I'll put like $10-20 in, and then lose it very quickly, and I'm like,
yep.
This sucks.
That was fun.
No, it wasn't fun. It sucked.
Yeah, I think that like, so my dad used to like to do that kind of thing, and he would just like look at it as like you're spending $20 and you're gonna lose the money, but it's like a fun way of like losing money. Like, as long as it takes a certain amount of time, then you're getting like X amount of entertainment. But he won a couple of times, like he was playing slots and stuff like that. Back before it was computerized, like there was like systems that you could do before. Like you wanted to pick like a slot machine that had like a view from the door and like all these other things and stuff like that. But yeah. But by the way, so like it's not in me, it's not in my dad, it's like not in, like our family probably. But the great thing is about, you said it was Noah that did that? We get to live.
No, Sabetti.
Sabetti, sorry. The great thing is we get to live vicariously through Sabetti. Like that was like, I felt a rush from that. Like you told me he bet on red. I was like, there's no way you could, like, I can't do that. I cannot roll dice that well. You know what I mean? I cannot do that. That's so awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with Ledivicus. I'm not a gambler. In my mind, a gamble is going for an 8-inch charge. Exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Gamble, but with a reroll, it's more likely than not.
That's true. Yep. He's not wrong.
Indeed. But yeah, that was that. We decided not to do doubles this year, just because last year it was a ton of fun, but it's also nice to just like have the Sunday to, go see Vegas and stuff. Like we went to Meow Wolf. We went, I think the night before we did like go karting at like midnight or something like that.
I think we got pictures. Yeah. By the way, Stark says, and then there are the few players that have beaten Matt Beasley in the finals of the PNW Masters twice now. Who could he be talking about?
I don't think that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's probably talking about Matthias. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Okay. So now we are at the, what is this again?
Oh, you're looking at the next picture.
Yeah.
This is, I was like, I don't know. What are you talking about? This is the go-kart track. There's a lot going on in this picture. A lot of flannel. We are Canadian after all. So we went to like this, I think it was Saturday night where we went to like a karaoke bar, and like all of us were sitting down and listening to people sing, and some were okay and some were not. And then right before we leave, we're all like getting up to leave, and Eric was like, wait. Janine is about to sing Five Finger Death Punch. I really want to be here for that.
Who's Janine?
No, like just the name Janine came up, which is like the oldest, whitest name you can think of. Like,
I see.
it's like, we need to be here for this, but there's a bit of a letdown, so we kind of left dejectedly.
Poor Janine.
Sorry, Janine. But if she couldn't hold the mic up to her, it's the same problem we have on stream. You got to hold the mic like, up to your face. So
right.
But Dale spotted this go-karting track, and I'm like, it's midnight. Like, surely it's not open. And he goes and checks, and it's open, and it was only like $25 to like go-karting for, you know, what is usually really expensive in Vegas to like do stuff like this. And
how much time do you get?
It's like I want to say it's like a 20-minute go-kart or more. I don't know. Like it was it was definitely worth it. It was a lot of fun.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so we're all like waiting because like the people in front of us are racing first, and we're all kind of waiting for them to be done. And this kid just like walks in, and he's got this big cardboard box full of like candy. He's like, "You guys want to buy some?" And we're like, "Sure, why not?" Eric buys like 2 bags of candy, and we all take like pictures. We're just kind of hanging out, and before we go to like get on the go-kart track, I think this kid has done this multiple times, where he's just like, "You guys want to give me your go-kart ticket? Maybe I can race instead." We're like, "No, get out of here! Like we're gonna go-kart. What are you talking about? Yeah,
we're poor Canadians, damn it.
Yeah, let us have this."
Yeah. This is like 100 of our dollars.
Unironically, yes. And then, the next picture is us posing. They gave us they call them head socks. You got to put them on in between your head and the helmets, and it's the hardest. It's the hardest peasant album of 1166, I think. It's pretty sweet.
Why is everyone in blue and just Dale is in black?
Style. He just knows how to pick them.
I'm pretty sure it's inside out too.
Yeah. Pat says result of go-karting. Eric is an effing menace. Yeah. 15 laps. That's right.
15 laps. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And it was like a go-kart drifting track. So like it wasn't particularly huge, but like every turn you take, you just like it was like almost like you're on ice. It was like you really had to manage your drifts well. It was a lot of fun. And then afterwards we decided to kind of keep waltzing down Fremont, and which is like old Vegas, where it's like there's like this huge LED screen over this stuff. And we went to this punk bar, and at the back of the punk bar there's like shuffleboard and like a pinball machine and stuff like that. And then in the back of the punk bar there is a murder room, and that's what this is. This is the murder room.
What's a murder room?
Are you looking at the same thing I am?
Oh, this. Got it.
Yeah.
This is what I was thinking of as the Blair Witch photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you say murder room, like, is that a thing? Should I know what a murder room is? Like, other than like a room where people get murdered.
That's that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I wasn't sure if it was like, if there was like some kind of like escape room. You know what I mean? Like some kind of game. Why are you guys facing the corner? Like, was the Blair Witch there in the murder room?
It's just what you do. What are you talking about? You're going to go into a room like this? You're not going to do that?
I guess.
Look at the camera. So you wouldn't do it.
Oh, sorry, guys.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That was, I don't know what happened there.
What's that? Feels like it's been hours. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah. So the next picture,
murder room. Okay.
Is Matt Beasley grinning with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different awards.
Did he get
not
them
all
all?
his? No,
okay. I was like, what the?
So they did the ITC awards at the same time as like LVO is when they like.
Oh right. Yeah.
And so everyone in his club who would have won something, like best in faction or best in Grand Alliance or something like that, he collected on their behalf. And then I think he also did that for the award ceremony for the tournament itself. So
Dang.
there's him hoarding a whole bunch of awards. I'm 100% convinced that he did not actually give those to his teammates. He just kept them for himself.
Just melt them down, Matt.
Yeah.
They weren't there.
No,
There's like
they didn't have them,
one,
sorry.
2, 3, 4. There's 6 awards there, I think. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, I love Eli in the chat. Spent some good time in the murder room yesterday. Got a lot done. Memorable times.
Oh man, Stark won best hobby for SCE. Not somehow. I can fully understand that. That's Carson's favorite.
You're never
shirt
getting that
from
trophy. Yeah.
Yeah, I have not received it.
And you never
Oh
will.
man.
Like, it's not coming.
That's too funny. Okay. I think we have more pictures, right?
I think the next one is, yep.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
us at Korean barbecue. Enjoying
That
some
looks
meat.
good.
Lovely,
yeah.
tasty. And the next picture is
Do I have to change it to the next picture?
it's more meat.
Oh, but still. Oh man, it looks like you guys got short ribs, and is that ribeye?
I don't remember.
Oh,
It was all
idiot!
really good. It was all really
What would you even go down there for if you're not going to remember? Ugh.
good. I don't know.
Where family meets freedom.
I think this was at Omega Mart. The weird like meow wolf thing.
Okay. I mean, I like meat. I like family. I like freedom. They had me at all of those words.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And then the next picture is
Yeah.
the surface of Mars. Yep.
Beautiful sunset
This is what
on Mars.
Vegas looks like. It's just, yeah.
Is that
was
you
me.
leaving?
Yeah, that's me leaving.
Cool.
But it was just
Just
crazy
you.
looking outside and being like, this is such a foreign landscape.
It really
Just
is. Yeah.
No vegetation, no water, no clouds, nothing.
For context,
Just-
we live in an actual rainforest. Like we are.
I know, but
part
I've been
of-
to other cities too. Like I've been to
No,
Atlanta
I'm
and
explaining for
Boston
the people at home. Like it happens to us quite often. Carson, you should know this by now. People are like, "Where are y'all from? Like, are you from Texas like me?" And we're like, "No, we're definitely not." You know what I mean? So we are from we live in an actual rainforest. It rains here a lot. There's a lot of trees, a lot of mountains. So yes. So I'm just contextualizing it for the audience. Yes. And honestly, I do mean this. Like, I love where I'm from. I love the ocean. Obviously, I love the trees and I love the mountains. But I do think that there's something to be said about all kinds of biomes and geographies and ecologies. Like, you know what I mean? There's a beauty in all of it. You know. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, 100%. Like every time I woke up in the morning, you'd see the mountains in the distance, and I'd say this in a non-insulting way, but not seeing a single cloud in the sky is like truly foreign to me.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like just seeing pure
Because it's
blue
overcast here
atmosphere.
90% of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just gray here, or you'll see clouds sometimes and whatnot. But I can't recall any time I've not seen some
Any
form of
clouds?
cloud.
Yeah, it's so rare. It's so rare. Like certain parts of the summer, like maybe a day here and there. That's true.
Exactly. And then the last thing we have is actually a video. So our clubmate Eric
Yep.
is a very good player, very good painter.
Yep.
And he kind of the first day, a lot of people put their stuff out for viewing to paint and didn't quite get judged, I guess. I was talking to a lot of different people that were just they kind of barely looked at my models. I wasn't really sure. And that kind of happened to Eric, and he was a little bit dejected. He's pretty upset.
He was very upset, and he has, for context, he has won best painted in the past. His army is stunning. He puts a lot of work into painting his models, and it takes him a really long time.
Yeah. So basically what happened was I know that one of the reasons he came to Vegas was I've been spending a lot of time on these models, and I really want to be like in the painting competition. Just because last year it was like a pretty big thing. Duncan Rhodes was there, like talking to all the people. Sorry, and it'd just be cool to like have it up on the showcase, not necessarily win anything or anything like that.
But his main hope was the painting side of things.
Yeah,
like, that's what
100%.
he said to me. He was like, I'm probably going to get my ass kicked, but like maybe I can, wouldn't it be awesome if like I, came away with like some kind of painting thing,
Yeah. So he left day one, like pretty down in the dumps a little bit. And then randomly at like, I think 3 or 4 a.m. or something. So, cause his wife came with them. Yeah. She runs into one of the event organizers at the bar, and they're like chatting, having a good time, just shooting the shit kind of thing. And they're just like, how's it going? And she's like, honestly, like not great. And she explains like the whole situation. They're like, oh my God, that's terrible. Like, here, how about we have another judge, like take a look and just kind of see, if he should get in the thing. Like not a guarantee that he would get in, but just like a fair second chance kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the next day he's kind of ruminating on, he's like, I don't know if I should actually do this. It feels like I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should have just like accepted the first like quick glance and whatnot. But he ends up kind of going through with it and getting someone to take a second look at his army, and he makes it to the showcase, which is awesome. He also happened to go 4-1. So you can probably see where this is going, but he left the first day like super dejected. He was 2-1, wasn't feeling great. And then he comes back the next day, wins his next 2 games. And then on Sunday at the awards ceremony, he ends up winning best overall, which is like a huge award to win at LVO out of like 310 people essentially. And we got a video of that one, just kind of celebrating that.
Yeah.
So can play here.
I'll play here. When I flip to it, it auto plays and it's always on mute. I've tried to make it not be that way, but okay. So I'm going to unmute it now. It's 11 seconds long, Carson. So just so you know, I'm going to hit play right now. That was awesome. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so we're super proud of him, super happy that he managed to win that. And then we kind of realized that
sorry, it's paused. Like, I'm gonna just let it play again, and then there we go. I'll go pause it there. Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry to Pat as well.
So we realized that over the last 4 LVOs, 3 of them our club has taken home best overall.
That's crazy.
And so Dale was the first one. I think he won
2019
best overall. Yeah, 2019 or something.
Or was it 2020? Because it was like right before COVID.
I think it was 2020, right before COVID happened.
Right, maybe.
And then I'm pretty sure LVO didn't happen 1 year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years, maybe.
Right.
Either way, out of the 4, 3 of them have been us. So Dale, myself last year, and then now Eric this year. And then the only one that wasn't us in the last 4 years was Ricky Fisher, who lives like 3 hours south of us and is like super close to us, like really like sister club, Dimensional Cascade. They're all great people. Stark's in that club. So
remember
it's just funny
the
that
maths
this, like,
I said about earlier? That was like I was mentioning Ricky Fisher. Yeah. Awesome.
So this like tiny little dot population of people has just been like raking home best overall for the past 4 years, essentially.
Yeah, people don't realize how close Vancouver is to the border of the United States and how close Seattle is to the border of Canada. Like it's just a dot. It's crazy. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, on a really good day, you get there in less than 3 hours. It's pretty. Pretty easy to drive there. And we weren't sure at the time, but I verified with like Zach Roshner, who's like the main GW like event representative, that this actually came with a golden ticket. So Eric qualified to go to the World Championships.
He did.
Warhammer, the first one in the club to do so, and he did so like immediately after the year started. So he's going to be going to Atlanta.
Amazing.
So congrats to him. Last year it came with a covered flight. I don't know if it does this year, but if it does, that'd be even cooler for him.
They are. I know that they're covering something. Yeah. He showed us the message that he got.
Oh, nice. He got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't think, not like the email, but like some kind of Facebook message or something like that. I forget what it was, but just saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it looks like
Cool.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations to him. It was awesome seeing people in person. Like every time I go to one of these big events, I recognize more and more people recognize me. To the point where, like, in my first game that I was playing against Brian Horton, people kept coming up to the table that, like, they weren't like fans necessarily. They're just people that I knew saying hi and stuff. And it happened like at least 6 or 7 times. And at the end of the game, he's like, "Are you like a celebrity or something?" Like, it's so many people.
That's godlike. Oh shoot.
And yeah, but it's truly just like when you start going to these events more and more, you recognize the same people, and it's realistically a pretty small group of people, so everyone kind of knows each other. So it's a blast every time. So definitely going back next year. Yeah,
it really is a niche within a niche within a niche. So,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like you play Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Yeah,
you go to tournaments for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and you travel for tournaments for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. It's like there's so many,
and you regularly go, and you travel. Yeah, like you said. Yeah, like there's so many like subdivisions there. It's crazy. Yeah, because like if you go to one, like you'll meet people, but then if it's been a while, then you won't necessarily remember them. But yeah. Sigmar Scotty says, I remember living, I think he means in Vancouver, and it being overcast for like 3 months, no sun, just clouds. Yeah, 3 months is a good, like if it's only 3 months, we're actually pretty happy, to be honest.
Yeah, that's just winter.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
And I see the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true. Yeah, so yeah, that was super awesome. It was kind of like we saw the whole drama unfold. You know what I mean? And then, yeah. Congrats again to Eric. Really awesome.
Yep. Big congrats to Eric. Definitely deserves it. He's a very good player, very good painter. And
absolutely.
That pretty much it for LVO, I think.
Nice.
Definitely going back next year, and I don't really have any like big travel tournaments until Worlds. So that'll be a whole thing to cover. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess not. Anything else about LVO?
I mean, I've got tournaments, but it's all like Worlds is in April. So the teams Worlds.
Oh, right. The team Worlds. I thought you meant WCW, and I was like, I'm a little confused by that statement.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to talk about it. So
no.
Yeah, that threw me.
I got a 2-minute tournaments. Yeah. Will you guys be going to Adepticon? It's moving to Milwaukee, away from Chicagoland area. Really sucks. I probably won't be going to Adepticon.
None of us have ever gone to Adepticon. Like, I don't know. I think Dale probably did back in the fantasy days, like the Warhammer Fantasy Battles, but we don't know anyone who goes there. And I don't know.
I think it's because so LVO is like the big tournament that is actually close to us and easy to get to.
That's true. It's a lot cheaper for us to fly north-south.
Super cheap.
Yeah.
Super cheap. Yeah. It's like both time I've gone to LVO, I've covered it on credit card points easily. And I haven't spent like even half of them essentially just booking the flight. So I can effectively get there for free. And it's only a 2.5-hour flight. Like, it's really easy. It's it's just a proximity thing, I think. Or it's just like, it happens at the end of January, and then most people only do a trip like that like once or twice a year kind of thing. So out of the two, you're probably going to pick LVO instead of Adepticon, unfortunately. Yeah. You'll buy me drinks? Okay, I'm booking a ticket. I'm coming.
There you go. That's all it took.
That's all it took.
He's a cheap little, you know what. Went to Adepticon with High Elves and came 5th in like 2013. Damn. That was like what? Like release of 8th edition, Dale? Adepticon is meh versus... I'm not saying this. I'm reading out Dale's comments for context. Don't at me. Dale says, Adepticon is meh versus LVO. I cannot confirm nor deny, and neither can Carson, and I won't let him, even if he was going to try, because he has also never been to Adepticon. Although, like, the nice thing about Adepticon is like, I think they make the biggest announcements usually. Although having said that, the announcements from LVO were amazing. So I don't know.
The thing is like I've gone to like 2 live announcements, and they're not that fun, actually. It's
That's
actually
fair.
more fun, I think, being in like a watch party where you're kind of like hanging out with people in a stream or something like that, because you can see in like super high definition. Whereas like whenever you're looking at a preview in person, it's on like a screen that's like one of the crappy projectors, and it's like super far away, and you're like, what is that? I can't quite.
Yeah.
I think they're Soul Blight. Cool. I'll look at it on my phone later. And all of us kind of agreed. It's just like, let's just go to Fremont. How about that? So we just went like that. And then like as the announcements were coming out, or no, sorry, that was Friday. Whatever we did Friday, we were just like looking at our phones, just being like, cool, I can see them in super high definition on my phone, and I'm having fun elsewhere. So I didn't really get much out of being like physically at the previews.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Intellectually, I knew that, but yeah. I think if you're like, I think from what, and I could be wrong, like obviously I've never been to either, but from what I understand, Adepticon is more of like a hobby focused tournament. It's more like the painting, and like they do like, I think they could do like golden demons and crystal brushes or whatever they're called. Like they're like more hyper focused on that. And I think LVO, from what I understand, is more focused on like hardcore competitive play.
Yeah, I think it's different too, because like LVO, Vegas is a destination in and of itself.
Yep.
So people usually come for like a day or two before and after the tournament just to go to Vegas. Whereas
sorry,
what's up?
No, keep going.
Like Chicago, where it used to be, in Milwaukee now, it's like, I'm sure they're cool cities, but it's not like a destination city where someone's like, I want to go there and like, go do the things that are, because Vegas is crazy. Like it's not like any other North American city. It's nuts. Like it's completely different. And I think that's a reason why LVO tends to be pretty popular. I don't know that it's necessarily like extremely competitive. Like it is very competitive. All the big names are there, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to Adepticon too. Like it's perfect.
I don't know. This is literally just something I was told. I was gonna say, like, you clearly missed the part where you said destination location. Obviously, Milwaukee, huge destination location. Like, the Red Letter Media guys are from there.
That's true. Sorry, I should have.
Rich Evans is from Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm booking a ticket now. I'm booking it right now.
Good. It's about time. Can't remember so long ago. Tom says Vendor Hall Adepticon is better than LVO. That I've actually heard their Vendor Hall is insane. I heard they actually have the best one, but cannot confirm. Adepticon was fine last year, being ran by Nick Truenow. Well run. Okay. Ludificus says, I always enjoy our watch parties with y'all. Always a complete fill up of hype and nonsense. We have a really good time. Like, so true story about the last one. I was painting, and it was like 8:20 or so. And Beefy messaged me and said, I don't know if you know this or not, Carson, but he's like, are you going to do the reveal stream tonight? And I was like, oh, it's tomorrow. But I'm planning on it. I've got a few things tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do it. And then he's like, no, it's not. And I was like, what? And I started to sweat. I'm just sitting in front of my computer. He's like, it's in 38 minutes. I was just like, what? And like, as Carson knows, I usually start getting rid of the stream ready like about an hour and 15 minutes before we're supposed to start, to make thumbnails and get things ready for the stream and make sure the sound and everything works. And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to try it, And then he's like, I could be on there with you. And I was like, that'd be great. I don't want to just talk to myself. It's so much harder to like do them by yourself. So thanks again to Beefy for letting me know that it even existed. Because the problem, what it was like, it said like, I think it said Thursday at like 9 p.m. and then Friday. And I don't know, like something in my brain, I just kind of switched them around. Like, obviously I know the UK is ahead of us. Like everyone's ahead of us because we're on the West Coast of North America. Anyway, didn't read it properly and thought it was on Friday. And I even said like during our stream and like a few times in between, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to try and do the reveal stream on Friday or whatever. Anyway, it was super fun though. Too. Oh, did you? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but like they are the reveal streams are always super fun. We have a good time. Carson's normally there in one form or another. Sometimes you have a beard, sometimes you don't. You just have your mustachio. But they're always really fun. And yeah, I feel like ever since 4th edition, like, or maybe even before that, like for a while now, they're always good for AOS too. Like before it'd be like, sometimes it'd be like, yeah, we learned what book we're getting next and that they're getting a hero, a foot hero. But now it's just like every time it's awesome. So
yeah, they're ramping up the new like kit refreshes and model editions and stuff like that. It feels like
absolutely. So yeah. It's absolutely massive. That's good to know. It used to be hobby. It's ran better now, but we do have the best display boards. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for travel, like I don't, obviously money is a factor as well, but just like time away from home wise, like it's quite, most of the big events tends to be like East Coast-ish. And I feel like LVO is like my public, like big event that I like to fly to.
Yeah.
Then NA Masters, I'll fly to that wherever it happens to be. It'll be Houston this year. It was in Boston last year. And then WCW, I'll fly to that one, assuming I get a ticket this year. I only got 4 last year. What
a jerk.
And then what's it called? Worlds this year as well. Like I just bought my ticket to fly to Vienna, and I'm like, that was a lot of money. Like
God dang.
And that's like a full week away just for Warhammer. But obviously I'm going to see Austria too. Like I'll do other things, but it's a lot of traveling, and I feel like 4 like big trips is like all I can stomach for a year, I think.
Right.
I'll go to like other ones, like I'll fly to Battered Bison in Winnipeg that Beefy's hosting, because it's again like a little less than 3-hour flight and it's really cheap. I'll go up to Northern Waste, travel up there. I'll go down to Seattle, 100%. But when it comes to like these big tournaments that you have to do like international flights for, it's a little more of a tough sell to do that super often, just because it's expensive and only have so much time and PTO and whatnot.
Right on. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, thanks for joining us, Keith. I appreciate you being here. Earlier, by the way, Scotty said you had better be coming to Northern Wastes.
I am.
Okay. There you go, Scotty. Yeah. I remembered that, and then anyway, you said about going to other stuff. That's good. Honestly, like Eric and Alex went to Northern Wastes first when a bunch of you guys, like there was like a Seattle tournament or something that was happening on the same weekend. And like a bunch of people went down to that, and just Eric and Alex went up to Northern Wastes. And man, that tournament, like, I think like a lot of people it seems to be a lot of people's favorite tournament. They run a really great thing. So if anyone's out there who's looking for something different to go to, check them out. It's like, amazing tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really the people that make a tournament, right? And
it's true.
Everyone, the whole crew up there in Prince George is really great. Dudes of Sigmar are up there, their whole club and all the people there, like Sigmar Scotty, he's up in Prince George. Like it's a bunch of just like really kind-hearted, awesome people. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was saying to Beefy, actually, like if there was 2 tournaments that I was going to go to, if I started going to tournaments, I would go to like, oh man, I don't know. I mean, like we've become, friends with Beefy, and like we now have kind of like a cross-pollination thing where we're trying to send people to that. But we're so blessed. Yeah. One day, Scotty, even if I'm just up there to hang out in Golden Tree Man or something like that, you know? Yeah. But,
Yeah, it'd be cool to see you at a tournament like later in the day or something like that. One of the local ones, hang out and
stripping.
Just stripping, working that pole.
Yep.
Yep.
My mama tried to keep me off the pole, but didn't stay.
God, we want you on it.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You know, when you have talent at something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. What are you
My God. That pole sings. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, never mind. I was going to say something, but I'll tell you after the stream. What was I going to say? Yeah, well, Cake or Death is always on my birthday weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time. But, you know.
The best thing is that, like, locally, it seems like tournaments are picking up on the West Coast more and more. Because, like, there's two big Age of Sigmar tournaments that aren't GWs that happen every year, which are Cake or Death now and Sparkle Party. And both of them, the limit is venue. Like, Dale cannot physically fit more people in there. And he didn't even get to make an announcement post before it sold out. Like, it leaked that he posted his event, and everyone was like so scrambling to like sign up because they thought it was going to sell out, that it sold out. And that's 70 people, right?
Jeez.
That's it. So, and Sparkle Party, the same thing usually happens. It gets announced and like a day later it's sold out. But this year I know that they're trying to set up like a nonprofit organization, and hopefully
I heard that.
It's almost, they're basically saying that like it's done. But you know, knock on wood, nothing happens. They'll be at a new venue, and effectively there's not going to be a cap to the amount of people that come to Sparkle Party. And I think it's going to be the first time that we get over 75 people for a tournament that's not hosted by GW here. So there's a lot happening, which is pretty cool. Because like normally you see those huge events like on the East Coast, more so in like Boston and DC and stuff like that. But to have events that people will want to fly to here will be really cool.
Yeah, I think of Nevada as West Coast, and it's like one off, but yeah, I mean, like, especially like in the Northwest, but yeah. That'd be rad.
Stark says in the chat, the only cap should be terrain, as far as I know. We're more than happy to bring terrain down, like for more tables. I know that there's plenty of people in Warp Dice that would be happy to bring terrain to the tables. Like at our tournaments up in BC, we're not nearly as organized as you guys as far as like terrain goes. So we're like, all right, everybody shove it into the pile. Let's see what we got.
Dale sells out every time, and every time he's like, so guys, terrain and mats, you know? Yeah.
And even then, the Dimensional Cascade guys are bringing them up, like a bunch of tables up from Seattle to like lend him.
That's so nice. I mean, like, I can, if you guys need terrain, like, I can't get it to you, but I can send it with Carson. Same with Cake or Death. I didn't notice it until it was pretty late.
Yeah, I know we talked about this before, and maybe we shouldn't be talking about it live. But
probably
one
not,
thing I thought would be cool is like, if we did like this table is brought to you by like Saga of Dice.
It'd be awesome.
Whatever, it'd just be like, this is the Saga of Dice table, like it's the table that you see on the channel sometimes, kind of thing. And
that'd be sick.
You know, people, if they know the channel and they play on that table, it'd be like a fun little thing. But
that'd be really cool. Like maybe again, probably shouldn't be talking about it live, but if we could get like some kind of Ricky mat that's like kind of evergreen, you know what I mean? Like not one with like the objectives planned out, but one where like the quarters and different things like that are planned out. And then we could have kind of like a permanent mat, so to speak, to use on the channel. And then we could maybe design and paint some terrain around that. I'd be down for that. That'd be sick, you know?
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
I actually love painting. I actually really like painting terrain, but I'm always just so far behind on like all the other things. Like I'm trying to paint like skeletons right now and Skaven and Iron Jaws. And like, that's too many different armies to be painting it. And I can't even make up my mind. This weekend, I could not make up my mind on what to paint. So instead of painting something, I primed and airbrushed more models for me to choose from to not paint. I think it's pretty smart.
Smart guy. You're a smart guy.
And I like that Ledivicus has given me yet another nickname. Rob, Duke of Fighting Games, but Queen of the Pole.
He has many titles.
I need like some kind of banner made up, you know? Yeah. I always pole dance in a kilt, by the way. So.
Yeah. Starks has got to convince Ricky to accept other people's terrain. That's fair. Yeah.
Oh.
They must all be uniform and perfect. Yeah. How many tables do you guys have of terrain? I wonder.
You guys. Oh, you mean them?
Dimensional Cascade. Sorry, I'm talking to Stark.
Yeah. It's like, that's a weird way to talk about our channel. You guys. It's not my problem.
Yeah, I'm not involved with this.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the...
Tom B says, so do you think the Cities list that won was really that good, or was it just wielded by a really good player? I think Cities is in an interesting spot where it has to be wielded by a very good player. And if it is, it's a very good army. It's not overpowered by any means, but I think that Jeremy Lefebvre is clearly a really good player. Like he won it last year with the same army. Which
different edition. Different edition. Yeah.
So I think it's him, obviously. Like there are other people that took Cities to that event and didn't do as well as him and stuff like that. But I think that if you're playing Cities, it's a very like cerebral, techie toolbox army that takes a lot of thinking and positioning. So that's the answer.
Yeah. Stark says, problem is they change the deploy zones and everything each year. That's true. I mean, like, but they're so like not even, I don't even think you need those is what I was saying. Like if you just have like the major, you know, corner, like even just like those lines that they show in the battle plans, and or like the, you know, the 11-inch line and the just something like that, you know, just so to make things faster to deploy in general. That would be great, you know. Just something that's like something that is somewhat evergreen to use as a mat. And then, because otherwise, if we don't have that, then it becomes, you know, it just doesn't
really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, the lines of the battle plan change. Yeah, but there is, they do and they don't. Like there are, if you look at the what's it called, urbanmats.eu or whatever, they've started selling them with the major lines. So like the ones that go like halfway through the battlefield and half, or like they split them in half and they split them into like, again, eighths, I guess each way. Those are evergreen. But yeah, you know, just something that's not just a plain mat. It's mostly what I'm saying. Yeah, it's hard to explain without showing them, and I don't want to advertise, you know. I don't know why. Yeah. But anyway, Tom says, I played Cities today. Super fun. Ran a heavy shooting list against S2D. Man, shooting did not do well. I played against Matthias's Nurgle over the weekend. Same story, same ending. My God, I couldn't kill anything with rattling guns. It was crazy. Terrifying. Like, I didn't do anything the whole game. And I was rolling like really hot on the amount of shots and stuff for the most part. But yeah. Anyway, Carson is still getting over stuff, and I'm still, you know, sore from the poll. So we're going to call it a little earlier tonight. Thank you so much to everyone for hanging out. We had a blast. Do we have a plan for next week? I don't know what year I'm in lately.
I think next week we do specifically. The week after, we'll probably do a list review for Cake or Death.
Cool. Hell yeah.
But yeah, next week we'll figure it out. I assume we'll probably get more Gits previews and stuff like that, so we'll probably be talking about that. Actually, you know what? We're going to be seeing almost the entire Gits book
I think we will be seeing it, right? Like, does
Yeah,
the
so-
preview window thing go up this Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll do like a full-on review of the book, but we'll probably like
No, but what
talk about what we've seen and like the new things
Yeah.
that are coming out. So yeah,
that makes sense.
lots to talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks you guys for hanging out. It's so much more fun. Everyone was funny as usual and
Yep.
had a
I
great
have one
time.
thing. Sorry.
Oh.
The talking through all these tournaments, I completely forgot that I'm running a tournament in April.
Right. Yeah.
And Wet Coast has been confirmed to have a gold ticket for both best general and best overall.
Damn. Amazing.
We got 2 this time, and it is a cap of 64 players. We're currently at 30 already, so make sure to get your ticket. Yeah, I'll post a link to that in the Saga of Dice Discord.
That was one of the
they'll-
best tournaments of the year. The hat,
Yeah, I'm getting a new spinny hat, and it's going to be fancier this time.
like that alone. Yeah, you guys look like you had so much fun last year. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sarcastic, you were running Coast. I am running Wet Coast. Yeah. Well, I'm TOing the AOS part of Wet Coast. I don't actually organize the entire event. That's Dan Miner.
That's Dan Miner. Yeah.
Yeah. But I TO the Age of Sigmar part.
Yeah. It's every what do you call it? Like Good Friday weekend, Easter weekend.
Yeah, it's a Friday, Saturday, so that you can be home for Sunday Easter dinner.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you to everyone for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Nope, that didn't work. See you next time. Bye.